A very good afternoon to you and welcome to Joy Business Masterclass. Masterclass is powered by Joy Business and is brought to you by Goyle. Goyle, they say good energy, Goyle, Yenara, Yedia. Masterclass comes your way every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. and runs all the way through to 2:15 p.m. here on your superstation Joy 99.7. My name is Yaw Anim Barnafo and I'm glad to be your host for today's edition of Masterclass. Masterclass is happy to be back on your radio in this year 2024 after a break in transmission in November last year. We're grateful for your feedback, the positive feedback that we received on all the topics we discussed last year, bringing you business knowledge pro bono to help your businesses to grow so that our country can grow and we can all become better for it. We continue in the line of conversations this year as well. And starting off this year, want to look at the general conversation on human behavior in the workplace and how that affects our businesses. We talk about digitization and all the automation processes and all the theories, but we cannot do this without the human beings who work in the space. And so we want to look at the human behavior in the workplace and how that affects the businesses that we conduct, whether you're in manufacturing, whether you are in procurement, regardless of wherever you are, there are people working in that space, and therefore their behavior on a day-to-day basis will affect your profitability, your success, your efficiency, or otherwise. We're going to be looking at that conversation under the umbrella of the psychological safety at work or psychological safety in the workplace. I was having this conversation with someone backstage and he said to me, yeah, perception is a very strong thing. It's one of the things that happen under human behavior. And it's a reason why people sometimes do the things they do. And so they said to me, they said perception can become reality for the one who perceives. So that if someone doesn't like you, it doesn't matter whether what they think of you is true or not. Until you do something to change that perspective, as far as they're concerned, you don't like them. And that's period. That's how strong perception can be. Today we talk about psychological safety in the workplace. And like we always do here on Masterclass, we bring people of renown and people of endeavor in their own special fields to help us in this conversation, people who are professionals, if you like. And today we'll be talking to a certified emotional quotient EQ coach and a CEO of Addison International. He'll be talking to us under the umbrella topic, creating psychological safety at work. He has one of those CVs. If I want to read it, we'll spend quite a bit of time. But I'm sure that if you stay tuned to us, by the time he's done talking to us today, you will understand why he's sharing some thoughts with us. My guest for this afternoon's conversation, Uncle James Addison. Uncle James, you're welcome to Joy Business Masterclass.
Thank you very much.
We're excited to be starting off the year with you because we understand that regardless of whatever plans we have, whatever strategies we've put in place, whatever preparations we've made, if we do not get the human behavior right, then the involvement of the human being in our endeavor will create an adverse effect than otherwise. So today, talk to us. What are we going to be discussing today under psychological safety at work, creating psychological safety at work, and how human behavior affects our businesses or otherwise?
Thank you very much, and shout out to all your listeners. I'm sure they've waited for such a time to start.
We have also missed them, and we're happy to be back.
And my shout out to Yaw Anim in Canada watching us live.
Right.
And all my students, the 10th edition of the certification in emotional intelligence with Presbyterian University, all of them are on standby because I did not teach this. I said they should listen to Joy Masterclass.
Wow.
For that one.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I'm happy to be around. Thank you very much. And it's good that we've started with this. Yeah. When I was preparing for this, I said, wow, voice is needed at the workplace. Any workplace devoid of voice, it's just a matter of time. It will go down and go down very quick. Because out of the voice comes creativity, comes the new ideas. And if we don't allow for some of these things, then it means we are just hanging around a company that is about to go down. So it's a very important topic. And I am very happy to have looked at it because of some reasons. And I will share that quickly. So today, I'm going to look at what is psychological safety at work, why has it gained popularity in recent times. And I'm also going to do something I call the 3 introductory scenarios. And these are the things I'm going to throw out for people to think around it. And when the phone-in starts, they share their ideas. Then we'll look at some signs that indicate that your organization is lacking social, psychological safety at the workplace. Then we'll move into the importance, how it affects the bottom line. Then we'll draw some conclusions in that.
Right. Before you continue, though, we're streaming live on Facebook for those of our listeners who also want to watch us. So by all means, if you want to watch us live, go to our Facebook page and you'll be able to watch us. Uncle James, please continue.
Good. Now, what is psychological safety at the workplace? This is the belief that one would not be punished or humiliated for speaking up, 1, ideas, 2, questions, 3, concerns, or even mistakes. That simply means an environment will be created where people will feel free to be vulnerable. They know that it could be a mistake, but they are free to do that. This is a condition we are talking about. And mind you, it's a belief, so it's in the mind. As you said, perception. Nobody will see perception moving, but it's in the brain. Yeah. So it's good that we work on the brain when it comes to some of these things so that we don't get it wrong. Remember, brain is the machine for all that we do. Now, why has this become so important? Now watch. In 2012, Google of all people, they set out to answer this important question. What makes successful team? Google had wanted to find out in 2012 what makes successful team. Now they named the research that they carried out Google Project Aristotle. Google Project Aristotle. And the reason why they took this term is that the name Google's Project Aristotle came from the Greek philosophers Aristotle's quote. Aristotle has a quote, and they think that this research must be named after that man because of that particular quote. And the quote reads, "The whole is greater than the sum of its parts." The whole is greater than sum of its parts. I want to wait for people to ask me for this, then I will answer them. So let's move on. Now, this research took 2 years to finish. Now they discover 5 components that are found in high-performing teams. That if teams that are performing very well, what are their secrets? Now the first thing that came out is psychological safety. This was followed by dependability. To what extent can I depend on Yaw as a colleague in the team? Then structure and clarity. When systems are put in place, do we have the correct lines for reporting how grievances are resolved and all these things? It became third. The next one was meaning of work. What does a radio means to Yaw? What does a radio means to James Addison? Right? People have so many motivations to do a particular work, but it must be a right motivation. For instance, there must be a passion for it. And somebody will say, Mr. Addison, I don't have the passion for it. You find yourself there, so enhance it. You want to be, you did not want to be in a radio, but luckily for you, you did something and then you have been picked at a radio station. Enhance that particular thing. Look out for how people do their presentations. I mean, you watch other people, get some mentors before you realize the passion has been enhanced. So it's not always that you will find your passion easily, but there's the need wherever you find yourself to grow.
Whatever your hands find to do it well with all your heart.
The last one was impact of work. Some people work not just because of the money, but the impact they are making. So this is a team, and the team is saying that the impact that our job is making on the people, that is our joy, and that is what keeps us to become what? Better performance in the team. Now note, out of these 5, psychological safety was not deemed only to be the most important, but also the foundation for all this. That when people feel safe in their mind, that where I am working, I have the liberty to make a mistake and I will not be criminalized for that mistake, because out of the mistake will come a valuable lesson that will help the company in the near future. Anybody that is not making any mistake is not doing anything at all. It's very, very important that we know them. Now,
as you talk about making mistakes and feeling free to make mistakes, there's a question that comes to my mind, but I'll write it down for when we get interactive.
Thank you very much. Okay, good. Now, let me put up some few statistics for people to know that what we are talking about is a very serious issue. Now, 30% of employees' potential is locked to organization when they don't feel safe at work. 30 good percent. Now, it is also 16% higher. Right, 16 times harder to get this certified customers back than to look for a new one. That means if you are in an organization and people don't feel safe and they therefore behave unreasonably towards customers, it's likely that you're going to find it difficult 16 times for that person to come back than to go and look for a new one.
And this is based on research.
Yes, based on research. Now, the psychological state of an employee is directly proportional to productivity. And when people feel safe, creativity increase, discretionary effort increase. They don't only do what they are supposed to do. They go that extra mile to do that because they know that they can have an idea, they want to try it, an initiative, they are allowed to do these things. And it's very, very important for companies. Now, 60% of absenteeism at the workplace is attributed to psychological unsafeness at the workplace. So people may go for sick leave and all those kind of things, not because they are really sick, but there is somebody at work, they can't afford to look at the person's face and go and write exams in that week. So they just go and take 1 week from.
When they wake up in the morning and they think of work.
That is it.
Then they...
it crops out. Now, I have this scenario I'm putting up there. So people watching us or listening to us should listen to me very well and answer themselves. So when we open, we all debate. Now watch something here. A night shift nurse in a very busy urban hospital recognized that the dosage that the doctor has prescribed for that patient is a little bit higher. But when she remember, or when he remember, gender balance, I don't want trouble, when he or she remembers how he was demeaned and disgraced the other time when he asked of clarity from the doctor, all of a sudden the dosage is okay. So she or he is going to administer the dosage. It's up to the listeners to tell me at the end of my lecture what might have happened. The second scenario I'm putting up there is a young pilot, right? A military young pilot saw that the master has made a serious misjudgment, but because of lack of psychological safety with that particular master, he kept quiet. So I want them to tell me what is going to happen to the flight. Now, the third but not the least is a senior executive officer who has been hired into the new company, right? And everybody in the company is happy about the new takeover. But he, as a new person, has solved some mistakes that he knew that this takeover is going to have we're going to have a challenge. But because he's been treated to be an orphan, a very new person here, no room has been created for him to be accepted as a person and accepted based on his skills and proficiency. He kept quiet and the deal go through. Now I want our listeners to tell me at the end of this lecture the probability of what is going to happen. Now note, in all these three scenarios, when the voice was necessary or voice may have been helpful, everybody kept quiet. And there are reasons why people keep quiet. Now why this? Now note, nobody wants to be seen like ignorant, so don't ask questions. So in a meeting, people know that when they ask some genuine questions, when they become curious, they will be treated as ignorance.
Yeah.
The response from the bosses will tell them, have you completed the university at all? So in order to avoid all these things,
what school did you go to?
Yes. In order not for them to prove that I am ignorant in this business, let me keep quiet. Now, the second reason why this flourish is incompetent. Don't admit mistakes, or that weakens you. So if the boss even know that he has made a mistake, he will not admit it, because the workplace, people will not take it kindly.
It's an ego problem there.
That is it. The next thing is intrusiveness. You are so new. Don't bring yourself. How long have you been
here? Where
were you when we started? So people will keep quiet. So don't offer ideas, because they will see it as being what? Intrusiveness, or trying to assert your position in that regard. Right. Now the next one is negative. Don't criticize the status quo. If not, you'll be seen to be a very negative person. Now note, this kind of behavior is very good. It is easier to manage this environment. Are you getting my point? Yeah, we're going to move into a place where you see that people sit on management meetings and nobody speaks. And the manager will be roughing that, oh, you see, even when we get to management, 1 hour, I am done. Yeah, you've gotten nothing from them. Yeah, so you quick, endorse, we are going. It's because of lack of psychological safety. Now, the good news is that this strategy works very well for self-protection.
Right.
If the manager wants to protect himself, nobody asks questions, nobody challenges status quo, nobody brings in new ideas. They don't want to be looked like ignorant. It's very good. Now, psychologists call this impression management. You have some impression, some perception, and I want people to help me to manage it I'm the boss, very brilliant one. I was poached at a very high cost. So, I mean, you don't come and joke around with me. So anything you say, I shut it down. This is where people rather shoot messengers and not the message.
But you see, when that happens, there's no growth, there's no development.
That is it.
Because I've always said that when situations like this occur, you rule or you manage people.
Yeah.
Not mosquitoes.
No.
So if you are not connecting with the people, then there's a disconnect.
That is
then
it.
Your usefulness is affected.
That is it. And you see, people that really, I'm talking about the individual entrepreneurs here. I will urge them to listen to this. It's very, there are some places we don't want to mention name. You can lazy around, feel free. But if you really want your business to grow and go outside Ghana, if Google has done a search, why will Google worry themselves? If they have done a search, and the revelation is that the first thing that allow people to be masters in the team, a very good team, high-performing team, and it's psychological safety, then you must allow voice at the workplace. Now, anytime we will hold voice, we underserve our colleagues.
True.
At that moment. They need something from us. They have a very brilliant ideas, but because we did not speak, so that simple thing, the whole thing would have been very good. That thing is what? It's lost.
Yeah.
The nurse did not call. The pilot did not say anything. The executive does not talk. The three scenarios I've given to the people, I will be waiting for their answers. Now, let's look at some signs that shows that your organization, so if you are a manager, an MD, what position you have, head of department, now listen to me. If you have these signs during your team, if you have these signs as part of the characteristics that you oversee, then watch out. There is no psychological safety. The very first one is that employees don't ask questions during meetings.
Everybody's quiet.
Yes, Egyptian mummies all throughout. Nobody speaks. If you see that, don't think that you are doing well. It's a matter of time. A new competitor is coming. He has opened up and voice is heard. More creativity and innovation. Very soon you will go down. They will take you off. The next one is employees don't feel comfortable owning up to mistakes. This is very dangerous. At the end of it, so I will share some story where the research proved that, for instance, Kolebu is doing worse than maybe the clinic in my hometown. And there was a reason for that. The reason was that psychological safety was very high. But the person that did the very first research was shocked that we have all the experts here. Why this thing? So he has to do another research to find out why this reason. And the revelation was very different. Now, the team avoids difficult conversation. Hot areas. MD have said, so who are you? Let me keep quiet when it goes down. Right? Some of us, we've worked in some places before, and these things were visible. Yeah, very, very visible.
I'm still paying school fees.
Yes. Now, executives and team leaders tend to dominate meetings. So when you go to meetings, and the environment is that it's only head of department that speaks, the other junior ones, and they don't speak. Watch out. It's a sign that people don't feel safe to voice out. It's a very, very important. Employees don't often venture outside their job description. I've told you that when people are humiliated for trying new things and other things, what happens is that the creativity part of the brain is shut down. Don't think it's okay. Are you getting what? So you see, there could be a research, and very soon Addison International is going to run a series of research. Right? One of them is going to prove that most of the CEOs are actually not doing anything. Yeah.
You know, there's a statement that runs through some offices.
Good.
You know, when, let's say, a junior colleague has made a mistake,
yeah,
and then you ask them, why did you do it this way? And they say, I thought you said. He said, who asked you to think?
Yeah. Routine. We don't change anything.
You know,
yeah, that is why Zenith is here, but we are not there.
Yeah, but so those statements kill.
Yeah.
And we're saying to business owners this afternoon that be careful what you say to your team members. Good. Because those statements can serve to demotivate or kill motivation.
You shut them up.
Yeah.
They won't come with anything. They won't read anything.
Yeah.
Not at all. They won't waste their time. Now, employees don't ask one another for help when they need it. That means they may even be doing wrong, but they are afraid that the way they will be treated, just keep quiet and do it, and it gets wrong. So if it's some how do you call it, a contract you are going to look for, then means you will not get it because nobody reviewed, because he's afraid that when I call this person for a review or send it here, at the end of the day,
I won't get it.
They will say, oh Charlie, why did you employ this guy? But a proper teamwork will support people in terms of what they need. Now there are hardly any disagreement or differing point of view. Obiaji to everybody accept this point. Let's go. It's a matter of time. Now, employees don't know one another personally. It's just on what? At the workplace. But there's the need for us to go beyond. Are you getting my point? Because how do you call challenges at the workplace? We have challenges in the home as well. Now, the challenges for that person may not necessarily be coming from the workplace, but from the home. And if you relate very well with them, there could be an opportunity for you to help them. There may be challenges in marriages, but because you are very good with them, they will give you a hint. Then you maybe advise them to see some counselor, or you send them to some therapy and those kind of things. So imagine it ends at the workplace. They will carry those bitterness, those challenges into the workplace, and they disturb the whole environment. Now let's look out for some important. This is the point that I want the owners to note. That psychological safety, you may not be able to put your hand on it and say this is gallon 2, gallon 3. We have done this, but look out for the important. It promotes innovation and creativity. New ideas crop out because it's out of people's genuity that new ideas will come.
True.
Because when people come and the whole thing is routine, and any new idea, they shut the person down, not even the idea. That means you've killed the person. Next time, there will not be any idea. But when the environment is very conducive, you get to know that people will even be trying things. They will share with you, say, do you think we can do it that way? Is there any way we can improve upon it? Very, very important. It's good that we know some of these things. For instance, maybe a business is going to be established in a community, maybe a Muslim community, Christian community, but probably we don't believe in some of these things and that. No, you can't just do that. So the younger one on the grounds will go and say, Charlie, if our people there can wear or put up talabia or something like that, it's likely these people will accept us. These things all will come to you as a manager when you are very open and encourage people to explore the environment. It's very, very important that it enhances team collaboration. Are you getting my point? When team is the group of people that trust people. It's not a group of people that have come together and they have aims. If we have aims, why are you not achieving them? Trust is very, very important, and collaboration will be very enhanced when people trust each other, even to share their challenges and problems on the tasks that they have given them. It fosters learning and development. Why? You ask questions, seek feedback, and you admit mistakes. Learning is a very good thing in any organization. So we have even companies that brag themselves as learning institutions, learning companies. That means they embrace new things, they allow for new ideas, creativity. And when people are learning, that means they find themselves to be part and parcel of what? The company. Improves communication. Why? They are open, honest. They express their thoughts, concerns, and aspirations freely. It's very, very important. You know, there are some companies that when people are asked to do certain things, nobody will own up until they force somebody that, oh, you are coming from this media background, so we think you can be PRO. But there are other places that you will be surprised. People have some natural gift in their areas, abilities, and they don't have the expertise. I wasn't the company secretary with some company I work with, but whenever they are going for management meetings outside, board meetings, they go with me because they know this guy can write. I can write any nonsense. So I support them. After everything they review, and some of them are added to the destiny. This is a natural something. Are you getting my point? It is only in a safe environment, psychological safe environment, that people will bring out other extra things that they may not have the
all
qualification.
Of the ability, so you can choose from and get a better output.
You tap into it. We call it, you pick it up as and when you need it. Yeah, so if the PRO, the expert PRO is not there, we have another PRO by natural instinct or whatever. That person can speak and speak well. Now, it boosts employees' engagement and satisfaction. They are more engaged and they are motivated and less likely to experience stress, anxiety, and burn down. Now, it drives performance and results. Because when people feel safe, they do everything to get the results for you. So your goods are not being sold, the items are not going, the customers are not coming back. It's all because people have seen something, but they are not able to share with you because they've been given the laid down rules to go by it. We are not saying people should not be guided, but when people come with a feedback that is contrary to yours, you must go to new experiences because you may have your own idea. And this, let me remember PV of old age. You know, I went to the best school, one of the best schools. So if you are all the old boys from OWAS, and I'm very unique. I also did my sixth form at how do you call it? Infantipim. At this St. Augustine's.
Okay.
You see, St. Augustine's. So I combined two. For now, this thing is dying away. When you go to Accra, you end with Accra. So I combine. So all the ABSUs, shout out to all of them. It's very, very important. Now, it also improves better superior resource. People come out with all the ideas they need. Now, people also take risks. Right, they share feedback. Now back to the PV. I met this man before he passed on, and he said after talking to him for some time, he said, "James, you know something? I never read economics, but my ability to harmoniously bring people together and tap into their ideas made me who I am. I championed the economic recovery program for Ghana for so many years, but no background in economics."
That's impressive.
Yes, the man was tapping into other people's knowledge by making sure that harmoniously I give them the opportunity to speak out. And I tap into the knowledge of these people. It's very, very important. They are more likely to innovate. They will come out with what? Effective problem solving and deliver high quality work for you. It's also a form to retain and attract top performance. You know, you may think that people need jobs, but there are other people that jobs need them.
True.
They are highly skillful in the job market. So if your company does not respect people, don't forget it. You will never get them.
Some are interviewed, some are headhunted.
Yes, you just call him. Some people don't waste your time.
Say, please, when can you start? I say, I can't start now. I'll start in 2 months. We'll wait for you.
We'll wait for you. That is it. So you attract these people, and you know the benefit of attracting these people. Yeah. They come with outstanding customers. That one customer will blow off all your accounts into billions, and you don't even know how to manage it. Organizations that prioritize psychological safety are more attractive to top talent. Yeah. People want to work there, so they improve upon themselves and do everything to be there. And when they are there, you get the results. Employees are drawn to environment where they can be themselves and grow professionally. Yeah. There are some places you can't even tell your boss that you want to do an online course. Online, you'll be in trouble, right? Psychological safety. They will keep it. Before that, we are sick, we are that, and they are doing it. So it's better you open up.
You want to go to school?
Yeah, you have to pick one. Now, it makes meaningful contribution without fear or judgment. It's very, very important. Now, let's look at the lack of psychological safety at the workplace. It's reduced innovation and creativity. People don't think anything new is no-go area. Don't try it. Poor communication and collaboration. You know, communication is everything. Unless you speak, nothing gets done. So if people have even identified that this area can be a very good market area for us, a niche for us, and they can't tell you as a boss, then you don't have that market. It's as simple as that. Low employee engagement and morale. They disengage, they feel demotivated. Increased absenteeism, we've talked about that already. Higher turnover rate. You see, you train people for 5 years, 10 years, they are gone because they get abused psychologically at the workplace. Risks of burnout. Mental health may also differ. There are a lot of diseases we are carrying home from the workplace, and we need to be very careful. Difficulty in retaining talent. People will be seeking employment elsewhere. High turnover rate can be costly to organizations, right? It's very, very important. Now, as you lose valuable and talent, you incur costs associated with this. Remember, you might have taken some 5 years, 6 years to groom that person to that level. All things being equal, you'll be better off if you maintain that person. When you bring in another person, you are now going to make sure that this person will be attending other programs, traveling outside, seminars, conferences. All these things are cost. And even publishing at the graphic and all those, it's a cost. And you bring people to come and sit down. They won't go scot-free. You need to put down something for people that come to interview for you to get the best. The end of it all, you can also have legal and ethical issues. Right. When people become very abusive, before you realize they've done something that may put the reputation of the company at stake. You see people fighting.
A labor problem.
That is it, a labor problem. They may also go out there and do certain things that may not augur well. Conclusively, right, according to a study by Timic Group companies. They engage employees' performance, and it came out that the competitors, that the companies that have psychological safety, right, override their competitors by good 26%. So if your sale is 2 million, they will do 26% of your 2 million. That is it. Now, a research that was carried out by Society of Human Resource Management, right, turnover costs can reach as high as 50 to 60% of an employee annual salary. This is for people that are entry level position. When you go to the middle level position, it's at 150%. Let me do some simple mathematics here. So if they lose your MD, and that MD is very good, it's going to cost the company 150% of the annual salary of that person. So people don't just go and you think that is it. No.
Impact on business,
yes,
impact on recovery.
Business. Yeah. Oh, people have left companies, and the companies have never been the companies they used to be.
Yes.
That means it's costing you more. Now, Google Project Aristotle found that psychological safety was the most important factor contributing to teams' effectiveness.
Uncle James, I know there's a lot more that you want to share with us, but it's very exciting. I want our listeners to also be a part of it. If you just tuned in, this is Masterclass here on your Superstation Joy 99.7. We're here in the studio with Uncle James Addison, and he's talking to us about creating psychological safety at work. We want you to be a part of that conversation, but before we do that, we want to take a quick message from our sponsors. When we come back, we get interactive.
Your favorite on-air business development program, Joy Business Masterclass, is in session, and you can interact with us on Facebook via the Joy 99.7 FM or Joy Business pages. If you tweet, the handle is at Joy 997 FM or at Joy Business GH. Don't forget to hashtag JB Masterclass. You can also call us on 0302 216541 or send your questions and contributions through to the WhatsApp number 0551 111997, and our facilitators will address your concerns. Attention everyone, class is in progress.
Welcome back. If you just tuned in, this is Masterclass here on your Superstation Joy 99.7. We're talking about creating psychological safety at work with Uncle James Addison. Phone lines are now open. We're interactive. We want you to be a part of this conversation. What is your personal experience at work? Do you feel psychologically safe? Are you an employer? Have you created the environment for your employees to be psychologically safe? Pick up that phone. Give us a call, 0302 216 541. That's 0302 216 541. If you use any motor vehicle of any kind, then Goyle has some great news for you. What do you do when you run out of fuel in your vehicle? Do you just stop anywhere? If that's what you do, then please don't do that anymore. Let us introduce you to the Good Energy family and why you must be a part of it. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XPs are the best quality fuels with high performance in town for your vehicle. Goyle Super XP Ron 95 is a high-grade fuel sold at the same price as a normal fuel. Goyle's Diesel XP is low in sulfur, making it an eco-friendly option for your vehicle. And with over 440 stations across the nation, we ask that you join the family that rewards you with the quality you deserve for an energized driving experience. Goyle, good energy. Goyle, Yenara, Yedia. Phone lines are now open. Numbers to call 0302 216 541. I have a caller on the line. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass. Your name and where you're calling from.
Hi, good afternoon. And my name is Ro, and this is my question to you guys. Fantastic presentation this afternoon, and I'm blessed. So you are in a company, and you are an outside-the-box thinker. And my question to him is whether you must stay on or must just exit. The chief executive, and for that matter, the chief operating officer of the company, have slept with over 80% of the women in the company. Now, any outside the box thinking you do and which affects some of these women or ladies that he might have slept with, they tend to, in a way, look you as a too-no person, and who are you, and you've come in and instituting this, and you want to change this, try to bring a serious corporate structure or corporate governance kind of thing to the place. Yet, these women resist any move of yours. If you live in such company, what do? You stay or you leave? Thank you.
Thank you so much for that question. I believe Roger, he said his name was. Interesting question. Phone lines are still open, 0302216541. Pick up that phone, give us a call. But while we're waiting for the next phone call, let's see if we can answer Roger's question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Is it Rhoda or Roger?
I think I heard him say Roger.
Yeah, that's right. You see, when conditions are not good for you to thrive, I think it's better you leave. I don't want us to go into the other side. Are you getting me? We don't have evidence to speak to that. But you are there. The bottom line, where I'm speaking from, is the fact that you've stated that you are not allowed in any way to operate. Are you getting my point? So don't be afraid to go out. Some of us we went out. Are you getting my point? And 5 years down the line, it went down. Yeah. So you don't have to be afraid of some of these things. If you know that you carry something and you have something, it's better you find yourself where you can really flourish. It's very, very important. Yeah.
So that's your answer right there. If the environment is not supportive, then you want to begin to make plans to find yourself in an environment that will support your growth. Phone lines are still open. Numbers to call 0302216541. I have a question here. You spoke about trust in your submission. And trust is one of those things that's really rare these days. So how does as an employer, how do you establish trust when no one knows what the other person is thinking?
Good.
Or even as fellow employees? To what extent can I trust you? You were also talking about knowing each other beyond work. So, employers will try and do out-of-office events and let's hang out and let's do this. And then you find that down the line, someone gets into trouble and the information that was gathered by virtue of the engagement beyond work, maybe my home issues or my personal challenges now come into the fray. So how can I trust when I don't know what the information will be used for in the future? It's just a general question.
You see, trust is, how do you call it? It's a feeling, right? It's a belief. But one of the ways to earn trust is for you to initiate trust. Now, for instance, before, most of the time when I do training and people ask where should trust come from, and I tell them, to me, trust begins when you were selected for an interview. The company has trusted you in the first place. Now, when you come for the interview, you were also called. When you came in, you have your office, air conditioned, car. What trust again? So from there, you need to earn the trust of the company, and they lead it. That means you live up to expectation, regular, reliability, all those other things. All of them will box together to build a trust in the people around you. You get to my point. But we have to be careful how we open up to. Because, for instance, in the workplace, when we say know more about your employee, it's not all other areas that you need to make a move unless the person wants to open up. Secondly, when they open up, know how to handle it. It's very, very important.
I think I have another caller on the line. Let's take that question and we'll come back to you. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon, boss. I hope you're doing well.
Hello, good afternoon.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, please. I can hear you. Your name, where you're calling from.
This is Hajima Joseph from tonight, Sama.
Good friend. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah, many happy returns, sir. Another great topic, another great discussion. My question is, with this, I think psychologically, somebody might be affected even when the person is behind a certain machine operating. So the person should, every worker should get a very clear mind working with the company. Does it mean a company should have a counseling department that when they suspect that there's something wrong with somebody, they'll call the person and maybe ask questions and counsel the person? And also, how do I report or somebody I'm suspecting that is having a psychological problem? How do I forward it to the officials? Maybe the person, him or herself, is not able to come out with something.
questions there. Please keep listening. We'll try and answer them.
Yeah, good. It's a psychological issue, as he said. But you see, serious companies need to have, if you don't even have a permanent one, there's the need for you to have an external person that may be coming from time to time. Now, it's not in Ghana here. Elsewhere, research have shown that people that kill themselves, people that commit suicide, they contemplate on the suicide whilst at work. So they go home to execute their plans. Are you getting my point? So serious companies have some kind of psychometric measures that they take their staff through to pick out people that are having challenges. It's a very serious issue. So the workplace need a psychological or a psychologist at the workplace. It's very, very important. It's not out of place.
It's interesting that you
have that.
You mentioned that because increasingly we find that the need for this kind of intervention is becoming important.
Yeah.
Employers do not have this as a mainstay on their planning and their program.
Yeah.
And so occasionally you find that during trainings, occasionally you throw in a stress management training, you throw in some kind of, training here and there. But I think with time, the next 3 to 5 years, it's going to become a permanent feature.
Yes, it's a serious issue. And you get to my point. And some of the big guys, they look at this and when you are even training their people, they are not there. Anytime I see that signs, I know you have a problem. Yeah. You have a problem. So you see them, it's just a talk. It's never just a talk. Now, that person, I think he was having another question that if the person is not even knowing or he doesn't have the ability to voice out, you need to help them. You see, when emotions take over, logically we are down. So the people are looking for us to help them.
Right.
So when you identify anything, especially their languages may show, my brain will say, or there be die, me wanasa. These things are not normal. Behind every statement there is an emotion.
Yeah.
So when people voice out this, are you getting my point? You should be able to help them. They are waiting for your help. It's very, very important. Why are you telling me at the age of 45? You are now telling me. So something is wrong. So those people need help. Most of the time, find a way to let your people know that you think something is wrong. If there can be a therapy or some training in these areas.
Right. I think we have time to slip in just one more phone call. Numbers to call 0302216541. Pick up that phone, give us a call. We're talking about psychological safety at work. Uncle James, today we've kind of run out of time, but we've talked about quite a bit. What's our takeout from today's conversation, and what do we look forward to in next week's conversation, God willing?
Good. Now, today's conversation, what I want you to take home is that make the work environment difficult for people to keep quiet. Make it very difficult for people as an employer. So, and that is going to move us into the next stage. Next week, we're going to look at the 2 dimensions of psychological safety as, again, the 4 stages of creating safety at work, psychological safety at work. When people come, it is not just the opening ceremony for them. It's a totality of A, B, C, D to Z that will let them feel I am welcome and accepted here. I'm accepted. I am accepted here. Right. So we're going to look at the stages and how these stages will help the people to feel psychologically safe at the workplace. You can't afford to miss it. This one.
Right. Yeah. If there are employers who are listening to us and they say, listen, you've struck a chord with me today.
Good.
I typically hadn't planned to do this, but I think I'm going to start looking at it, and they need help. So they want to reach out. How do they get to you? Where do they find you?
Good. They can call me on 055-945-9207. 055-945-9207. Then James Addison on the Facebook. But if you want more videos, you go to Emotional Intelligent TV, EITV, all one word. Emotional Intelligent TV, EITV, all one word. We can even do a research for them. Then from there, we do the what? We want to find out the psychological safety level of your institution.
Okay. Good. We've just been given a few more minutes, 5 more minutes, so we can slip in one more phone call, 0302216541. If you picked up that phone and you put it down, please pick up that phone again, 0302216541. Give us a call. What do you want to know about psychological safety? I have a question, though, while we're waiting. So as an employer, and with all the resource constraints, how do employers allow, or to what extent can employers allow mistakes? You know, you're talking about an environment that is free for people to make mistakes and all that. But in some places, one small mistake, and it can even be fatal. Yeah. So let's put that into context. Yeah.
Your question will be more answered next week. Because you need to put the people through stages. Are you getting my point? So there is a stage for learning. At that point, you make sure that the necessary and the requisite knowledge is given to the person. So the mistake you are talking about, we are just using it as a way to entry, but you are not going to make a mistake. Why? You've been properly trained, equipped before you move to that level. They are all stages forming the psychological safety. Right. So where you think we're making a mistake, we would rather be doing very well because they have made sure that they build you psychologically to rather avoid the mistakes.
There's something that happens quite a bit in offices and in office settings. It's called workplace bullying. Nobody talks about it because it's completely embarrassing and no one wants to deal with it. But it affects psychological mindset as well for people. Can you just share some thoughts with us on that as well?
Yeah. You see, if your boss is bullying you, I don't think he wants the best for himself. Or even your
colleagues. Sometimes it can be a colleague.
Yeah, colleagues also do. You see, all these things will go against the bottom line. Why? Because first, you will not get the morale from people. Secondly, you will not get the creativity and innovation that will help you to grow. Are you getting my point?
Right.
Thirdly, this kind of absenteeism, high rate of turnover, all the disadvantages that we have discussed, it's likely you bring it to fore. And it's likely one day you may end up with legal issue. Because not all this nonsense will be taken by
not everyone will just keep quiet and
that is it.
Yeah, just suck it up. I've got a comment on social media. This one is from Ato Emisa Arthur from Lashibi. Good afternoon, Ato. Thank you for listening. Says, I'm enjoying the discussion on psychological safety at the workplace. I must say that Mr. Addison has nailed it, and this is insightful and informative. Thank you, Yaw, for bringing him to share with listeners. Psychological safety ensures that people feel vulnerable enough to make mistakes and learn from them. Another comment here says that if you are in an organization and for 12 years, no salary increment, no training, and there is no trust, can you resign? Can you resign? That is from Nana from Sakumono. And then Harrison from Dodua says, fantastic guest and a wonderful presentation. You want to comment on Nana from Sakumono?
I think, Nana, let's see if you have made this complaints officially. Right? I know you don't need to complain when you have not.
But I don't know that they haven't increased my salary for 12 years. My side.
Official notice before. Your bosses are aware. Nana, maybe, you see, we have to put it into context. Maybe conditions are, the economy conditions may not be that good. But if you know you are making the profit, meeting the deadlines, the margins, and that will be very unfair. But if one or two is fighting against it, that will be fine. But before I go, there is a case that I am privy to, right? This lady started working, and the first meeting, she shared idea. The boss, right, has punished this lady close to over 20 years,
for sharing,
including demotions. For sharing. But thanks be to God, that boss too has been caged somewhere. Yes.
Come on.
Yeah. See, so how would this lady advise the son or the daughter to go and speak at the workplace? Keep quiet and get your money.
Do you think that, and I've just got about 60 seconds to go, do you think that our behavior as employers in our country, let's talk about Ghana, is a function of our orientation?
Yeah.
I know you can't answer all that today, so maybe you write it down for next week. But I always say people are a function of their orientation.
Yeah.
The way we behave corporately, is it a function of our orientation?
That is true. Our orientation, what we believe in. Yeah. Yeah. Right. So some of them have these traces coming in and we carried it to the workplace. But elsewhere, even if you're a professor or doctor, apart from the academia, at the workplace, that titles are not used. It's just to create environment for people. My final comment is that next week is going to be very powerful. And I want everybody to come and learn the 2 dimensions as against the 4 stages in psychological safety at the workplace. Engagement, and respect is very, very important.
Thank you so much, Uncle. That was Uncle James Addison, CEO of Addison International and a certified EQ coach, talking to us today on Masterclass about creating psychological safety at work. Today's edition of Masterclass was sponsored by Goyle. Goyle, good energy. Goyle, Yenara, Yedia. God willing, next week we come your way with yet another exciting edition. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you same time next week.